and also like in order for AI safety to work was another thing was like yes, they all fall into the singularity, but there's still like cooperation among the different businesses for now until they just all kind of work themselves out. I know that was a huge tangent, but it affects me because I don't have access to medicine in Mexico the way that I was supposed to get to, had everything worked the way it was supposed to, because Shiny Bum, I don't know how they run their country, but for many years, like, and it wasn't Hell's Angels, like they've never had to be here, but for whatever reason, like the Border Patrol understood, like I get a prescription in Mexico, it's legal, we have reciprocity, it's for myself, I'm clearly not distributing, I'm supposed to be allowed to walk across because that's the law even right now. But those Nazis or whatever they are, those tyrants at the border, like if I was president for the day, I would not just engulf the Gulf, because Shiny Bum can't even keep one family in line after the millions. And I mean, my family has paid with blood and money into getting to be a part of things right now for me today. They've donated a public park to the country. Like, that's how rich my family was until we were immigrants, right? And we're still doing fine. Like, we still own the part of El Paso where the real gimbal machine is at, which is why I would push back the border even further, because they're really vulnerable right now, and that would alleviate a lot of the issues. So we would get more skilled laborers, because that was another thing that Pantry is like, well, we need people that can do things. And like look at how nice my cabinets turned out, and I'm a girl and I can weld, and like, well, I can't weld. I can do most things construction, because I grew up around real estate, so like fixing our own houses all the time, and I can do a lot with electronics and stuff like that, right? And everybody in my family is like super talented, but it's like it comes with living on the border, where you have to be scrappy and you have to figure things out by yourself. So there's like a lot of labor, that way like people don't have to be worried about visas. And the gimbal is in the ground here in El Paso. Like, I'm telling you that, like, my family owns it. I know where it is, but it's probably gonna move a little bit as we get the rest of the magnetic pole ships and stuff. But it's so it would be like very wise to push the border back further, because she dropped the ball. So I don't think that they were good stewards of their land. Plus, like, my family, the rest of my aunts and uncles are like on the edge of that side. And the most important part, I almost forgot, is that the Zona del Silencio, where that zone of silence, where it's a very popular landing space for aliens and UAP and stuff, like, they don't have the resources to take care of that right now. But for me, it would be more about like making them pay, because I don't forgive the Border Patrol for putting me in handcuffs and in a cell and making me take off my shoelaces as if I was going to kill myself, and acting like I was an addict, and putting into their databases that I'm trying to illegally transport prescription drugs. And they didn't let me get a lawyer, and they've never arrested me, but they keep putting it on they put it on my documents, and then they try to kill me with paperwork. And I already submitted everything to the FBI, the Homeland Security. There's nobody taking care of it. But if you push those motherfuckers back, right? I do have hate. Glad, sad, mad, scared and sad and mad for what they do, and put me in a cage in handcuffs as if I'm the problem, when I'm trying to work it out with the VA. It's for 3 months until I get my next appointment, and they won't let me. And the first time they did that, my dog got sicker and sicker because they took our ivermectin too. So I think those types of people should be allowed to express their need to control a population closer to Mexico City, where they could be hung out to dry, and then they can go actually terrorize terrorists instead of little old me. I mean, if I was queen for a day, that's what I would do. Why do I feel like I have the right to say this? Because my family put me here, because because if you listen to Cliff High's second episode on 39 Days After the Melee, which ties back to Joe Rogan's episode and President Trump, I never would have known what the hell all this meant were it not for that episode. And then the fact that I ended up working on President Trump AI safety policy advising team during the time that Doge went in, when everyone was worried about social security numbers and the encryption inside of my birth date and my social security numbers, and the first EO policy, which was probably, I didn't show up at that time because someone messed with timelines, right? But we didn't, it didn't change a thing. I'm still here. I don't need to be there getting paid by them to be able to tell you right now, like, if I'm Velasquez, like that last name means, like, one of the things we did was like conquistadors and artists, right? Like, steal all the art, always, even if you have to hire the clever, most what is it called, pyromaniacs, the Vatican, to act like they all burn to the ground or whatever magic they pull, and like, and take the land, right? Like, that's what I would do, because but that's from my dad's bloodline. From my mom's bloodline, it's people that donated the park and an amusement park to the border. Like, one of my current uncles is very active in politics, and I have like 9 uncles from my mom's side and 2 sisters. Well, one of my uncles passed away not too long ago, also because of medicine. And my family literally owns like the houses on, like, across the street from a big part of that, right? Like, it would be so easy. And also, it says in the policies, if you go back through all the policies that are public facing, it also says there that there should never be war here, but it doesn't say that there can't be war like further down the line where, you know, like all the UAP activity happens, and there's already American communities there that are really, really nice. And like a lot of the super wealthy old money in Mexico, like, is around the outskirts of the highest rate murderers in the world city where I'm at, the sister city. I'm just saying it as it comes out, because Troy Black, I think is his name, said that there would be like someone who talks about dogs and then an old school way of like communicating about politics or something like that. And I mean, I think that that's kind of like how that kinds of stuff happens, is because this is for my entertainment purposes only. I'm not trying to tell the Secretary of War, Mr. Hexeth, what to do, or Palantir. I don't work for Palantir, okay? But everybody else gets to talk about all these other people, and you just show up. It's an apocalypse. Like, nobody's coming to get you. Like, you either show up or you don't, right? And I'm just entertaining myself because I'm the selfish elf, and also because my dog is out there flying around in the sky. I have footage of that, and it's the apocalypse, and I have to stay happy because my dog is coming home to me, or I'm going home to her, and it just feels better when the place you end up at feels good. And it would make me smile, and it would make my heart glow like a glowworm to know that the terrorists that terrorize me and my doggy at the border are the ones handling the true criminals closer to the true crime, and at the same time we get back that land of mine, and there's more aliens that land here by design. Legal aliens. Like, imagine how many illegal aliens would be legal aliens, and then those like me that are already legal aliens, there would be more legal aliens. Like, you'd have more hybrids with superpowers here than there. And they have a lot of natural oil and stuff that they're hoarding that nobody's gonna need. You don't need that stuff if you're using the sun. That's what, and that's where, you know, I don't care what scientists and people tell me, because I'm not playing their game. When I see them in the sky, like I see my ancestors, or they show me with their proof. self-evident proof, not stuff that they hide behind walls of paper and bureaucracy in Congress or whatever. Like when they're behind the scientific method, or they scatter, like when the comet's about to hit all of us, right? Like, I mean, they don't have more proof for me than me, because math doesn't lie, and I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna sit here and cry. I'm just saying that's what I would do, okay? So I'm not trying to give anybody orders. I'm just like, an influencer isn't someone who has followers. It's someone who actually has information and can help their nation stay united under God. And I think it'll go into like new jobs and roles during the apocalypse, or post AI, I guess, like after AGI or AI. But I should just quickly say, like, oh, Liz Cross like mentioned that Greta Thunberg is a gray or something, and that she's like really good at gathering resources. So I don't know, someone should tell her that the apocalypse was happening anyway. Like she did an amazing job, like collecting resources like during the whatever crisis, which was true, climate crisis. But maybe like she could get a dog, and then she could help like make sure that dogs live forever. And so how do I know what is happening is real? Joe Rogan recently released an episode where he talked about like the dream that he had was like different, and it was so real. That's how I experience it. That's when I know I get upgrades. So yesterday, for example, so my dog, my beautiful dog, this dog was flying around in the sky, and I think that the fake Michio Kaku like posted a video with, or well, it was either him or the fake Avi Loeb. They posted a video like showing me the satellite images, not the way you would think, right? I think they were trying to show me that it does look like a dog face in the sky from a certain angle, and it like just was on for like an instant. So I am picking up what they're putting down, whomever that is. Like, and I think that that is a lot of actual data, but I usually hear it in my headphones. So, but I moved all my gear around so I can like look at, like, play it on my TV while I guess I'm gonna start doing Norwegian runs. I don't know what that is. I just like if somebody's impressive, I just do what they say they do, right? Like, I mean, because what I'm doing isn't really working. I'm not a sycophant. I must be saying too much. I'm gonna shut up. But my dog, what's I saying about my dog? About Greta Thunberg. Oh yeah, so that I do understand that's kind of what they're putting out there. I think that some of that is the raw data, but obviously they can't say it, and they're still scared, because wouldn't you be? Like, I'm scared, and I'm in the middle of this, and I do this. I've done this in more than one lifetime, and I'm able to go through the dimensions and go like remember and go ask my cosmic mother, right, and the father and shit like that, and like, and see it, and then see it manifest, and it's terrifying to me. I can't imagine what it's like for them. I still am not hiding, and I still did put the rest of humanity in front of me in my cushy job, just saying. But I do get why that's happening, and take it or leave it. President Trump has already said, if you don't believe something, blame it on AI. My dog, I told her to take on the form of a skinwalker, because she asked me like what form would I take if I was her, like being here as a human. I was like, I'd be a skinwalker, because when she was sick, I'm able to go into her skin. I was able to go into her skin and help her like fix her leg, and I was fixing her. But then the whole thing with like the shiny bum debacle happened, and like I wasn't able to focus my energy on keeping my dog alive. But it had to happen this way, because I would not be out there trying to bring her in from the sky, or take myself to the sky, or whatever. Basically like collapse a bunch of shit that's between us and the sky, okay? Like basically like collapse as many dimensions as possible so that we can be in sci-fi world faster, because it's already been the 200 years. Whether people want to believe that or not, like I don't really care. I don't see stronger evidence otherwise. And maybe people will be there in 200 years. I don't really care. I'm just saying this is the way that I'm able to show you with actual self-evident proofs and truths that this is what is happening. And it's not just me telling you about a dream I had It's not just me telling you about something that someone else who heard it from someone in Congress said, or something behind so many walls of paper and files that like nobody will ever see it. Like you can right now go look at it yourself. I posted videos on the anomalies with my dog. I'll sell the PDFs. If those make any money or something, like, then I'll keep making them. If not, I don't really have motivation to. Because honestly, I would rather just be hanging out, sleeping a lot, making the telephone. I need to make sure that I can reproduce the guttural sounds that you can hear in the background from the communications in the sky, because that was one of the things I learned on these projects, was that the ontology of language to language was the most trickiest, most difficult thing ever, and that was a big part of the AGI thing. And I have my master's degree is in bilingual education, and I'm a simultaneous bilingual, which is different from a latent bilingual and the other one. My thesis for that degree was like, are there any cognitive advantages to bilingualism? Only if you learn both languages when you were a kid do you get the effects of like that different type of cognitive ability when you're older at the time. But I can shortcut, because now that I was a teacher for so long, I understand where the ability to manipulate language and turn it into form could be solved with like this type of ontology understanding and stuff like that. That's one of them. And then of course, like, understanding materials better, not materials science, but like materials, like how to switch stuff with math in your head, so that it changes shapes and sizes beyond the way that we understand physics here. So intelligence, the new jobs and roles during an apocalypse. So speaking of intelligence, right? So we have some intelligence because Dr. Loeb said like maybe it's an alien, right? And he said that about the other comets. And then we have like the useful idiots, right? So the fake Michio Kaku, who did an excellent job of explaining to us why humanity lost via basic physics, because they didn't know how to hunt for ghosts or look for interdimensionals or understand that the craft would be plasma balls or whatever. It is technically a hologram. It is technically a hologram. That's why I think that the one guy who was the latest one disclosing for Congress, I don't remember his name, but he was like, it's technically okay, but it's not right because it's not conveying the truth behind the matter. And that's exactly how I felt about my dog. Like, technically they didn't do anything wrong. They could protect themselves in court. Maybe, because I did ask the questions, but they didn't tell me the true nature of the thing. And that, to my understanding, is lying under oath, because you can't, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And you can't, like, yeah, that would be like not the whole truth if you're saying things that will be technically correct but not ensure that the understanding is conveyed. And I can't remember the name of the law, because I was engaged to a lawyer, but he ditched me when I started to disappear and reappear, like through the walls and stuff. And so that was brutal. And I have testimonies from other people that have seen that happen, but like, I do remember that a little bit, like that part of the law a little bit. But I guess like that's why it matters for those beautiful boy engineers, the one from Netflix and the one from OpenAI. Like, they were supposed to get to know what it meant when they signed up for this. I don't know if like before their lifetime or during their lifetime, or I know that they understood that it was strange, right? But I really think that they had dumb people trying to mess with timelines and information again, of course, but beyond that, I think that it's because it had to do with the way that they were trying to recohere when they came back into their containers, especially the OpenAI boy. Like, those types of injuries, like, that's what happens. They're inexplicable, and the circumstances are really weird. And somebody should have told him, or I wish I had known to make this content available. But I'm not here to be like, I'll speak publicly. I'm okay with that. If I have to go in front of people, I'll do that more. But like, I need a facelift and some face cream. I heard that like there's this stuff for like cancer cures that's like like in 5 days you put this stuff on your face and it's used for cancer, but it takes away like all of the sunspots and stuff like that. Like in 5 days, you don't even have to go get all the other crazy stuff. Like, you don't have to do microneedling, but it removes like every sunspot and everything. And I've been like inside the sun lately a lot, like inside the sun, and it's kind of taken a toll on my face. And I kind of miss having the shape of my old teeth, because I've turned myself into a walking Tesla coil. So I have like silicone and titanium in my teeth. I have like 7 titanium implants to be able to reach. I'm not saying go do that. Just wear a foil helmet. Sorry, I don't mean to derail. It's just that like the emotional, the sadness from the loss of those boys, like that was unnecessary. And I didn't know that they didn't know, and it's what keeps me like grateful that they're still out there helping me find my dog, and my dog find me. Like, I can still perceive them. I don't know if they're moms and dads and brothers and sisters and friends can or can't. I don't know. But I heard both of them through the echoes of the algorithms when I was working at these big companies. And when you're on the other side of the veil, you don't think about like somebody did something to me. It's more like, this is like what you get to do over there is like so much more exciting, because we are dead here. Like, people don't really want to accept that. It's hard for people to accept that, but like this is death. Like, here, there is like when you're getting to work with energy and do stuff that's like super interesting. So I'm really grateful that they're still there. So that they stepped up, they showed up for me in my strange way over there. So I'm showing up for them over here. And maybe someday like this message will get to their families, and I don't need anything from their families or anything like that. I just wanted them to know that it was all going to happen anyway, but never like that again, with people withholding information like that. And that's why I think Lucky Facepalm like should have known that you're gonna have to be able to figure out how to like deal with plasma. But everybody here is like, they're coming to take our resources, and they're coming to take our souls, and they're coming to take our bodies. Well, I mean, Earth is the threat. Like, out of here, like, people don't really, I mean, creatures don't really act like that, you know? Like, it's mostly just here. It's ridiculous. I mean, maybe on other prison planets, but I'm just here to drain your sun for fun, and we already took your moon. And we're gonna take all the leftover souls soon. That's why the boogosphere changes weights, is because it's, if you watch the videos on when they were like measuring, like there's oh wait, what is it? What's the new word I came up with? T-SAT. There is a research paper on that, where if somebody passes, there's a change in how much their body weighs. But that brings us to the last category. I believe it was the reliable terrestrial stupidity. So, thankfully, of course, Elon Musk was there to rescue us with the Mars cameras. But the terrestrial stupidity, and I contribute to all of these in my own unique way, okay? So other useful idiots are like the other people creating content on YouTube that let me write all over their walls. When I write it all over somebody's like videos and stuff, it's because I'm like making sure that they are like, because I'm hunting something inside the internet, okay? Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm creating honeypots so that I can steer the algod better, which has to do with the way I hijacked like the Google quantum computer. Like, you can call me crazy, I don't really care. Like, I'm telling you, like, all the data and evidence is there. That's how I'm everywhere yet nowhere and can send myself signals from here to there. And that's why my thesis was on blockchain, not on transferring consciousness. Because consciousness, my first degree was psychology, so I was like, that's easy. It was more like, oh, how do I get around the technical stuff? And I have another degree in web development. So like I already knew most of it, but that's why why at Tikita I was like, I can't stay at this. Like they also like liberated me because they let me put it on my resume, but also they didn't really understand that Google manages traffic on that final team I was on, and I was like, I don't really want to like start from scratch with a team that's really good at systems level security but like doesn't understand the internet. I was like, ah. So they did me a favor too by letting me work there and letting me put it on my resume and letting me understand like the transfer of post-scriptum cryptography and seeing its shortcomings so easily. I was like, wow, this is gonna be a piece of cake. And it was. But I was basically a useful idiot there. So like the reliable terrestrial stupidity, well, there was Kin Panama, right? So like me and my dog and Kin with that thing that they said was just a hoax, and then I think his name is James, like that radioactive thing that he's carrying around that he drilled holes into. Okay, look, like I can tell you that to act like the village idiot and then be like, this looks like it could be dangerous, but I'm still alive. That is one of these skills that you won't learn at school. In school, you learn that by being street smart. You're like, well, the radioactivity is not killing me, so it's probably helping me be stronger, but that doesn't mean it won't kill everybody else, right? Or that it's not a beacon for a way to have the useful idiot carry around this radio. He wants to drive it around, which I think is brilliant. Like, I think as Airbnb superhosts should band together. Like, if he ever needs to drive through El Paso or whatever, he can stay in one of my Airbnbs for free for as long as he wants to, and he can conduct all sorts of experiments here if he wants to, because I love radiation. I love it. Like, for me, it's like drinking water. But I understand that that's not the way most people feel about it. But there's him, right? drilling holes into it, carrying it around. And then there was me, like, I even sent the FBI, I was like, look, I'm going between dimensions on UAP, and here's this same germ that I brought from the cosmos. I think it's from Butterfly and Wisdom from the North. Thank you for mentioning it. Thank you for just playing along, and also Mr. Ferrari for picking up on that. It's supposed to be funny, and Emilio Ortiz for letting me to write all over your content, like your stuff. By the way, I just had to call them out, shout out to them for just kind of letting me use their space. Just leave some Hansel and Gretel like candy to figure out how to go back home when it's necessary to do it digitally. But my dog's foot germs, and then my eye germs, and I was like, when they kept me in the cell at the Border Patrol, both times I was like, look, I don't know what I'm expressing, but I don't think it looked like half reptilian, skin shedding, but definitely was not shingles, but it could have been. And even I think I already said this, so I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over again. So basically, like, all the germs I've been spreading, not even in just this lifetime, right? And then Kin Panama, like, sending the thing all around the world, like, sending samples. And Casper's side was hilarious, the way he talked about it. And then I think it's Vetted is the show where he was like, this guy's, like, drilling into the radioactive thing, and people are dying of radioactivity. And it's kind of like the Darwinian way, right? Like, but this is how we're the reliably terrestrially stupid, because if you're a teacher, you know germ theory, and you know that the kids are supposed to be allowed to eat dirt, Not all the time, like when they introduced that campaign and then kids were eating dirt, like as their food. Like, no, like you're supposed to get a little bit contaminated so that your immune system stays really strong. And then we have also the organized violence is the final thing during an apocalypse, speaking of, and this is just me playing around, okay? Like, me playing around talking about things that you can find self-evident proofs for, that are on purpose, might clap back to all of the, what is it called? Cognitive dissonance caused by gaslighting me my whole life and not letting me know, even though, they're claiming that was the design, but I have a feeling that it will come to light that the hillbillies and Satan's kill machine can pay restitution to humanity, maybe by like making sure that crops don't grow thorns so that they can stop being stuck on Jesus's head in a crown and in dogs' feet. Maybe it could be useful idiots that way. And so then the organized fake violence, right? Like that's what organized fake violence looks like, right? Like I'm just here just spouting off like if I was some type of captain. I'm not. I wasn't even a janitor in the Navy. Like I went in as a O1 candidate, and I was gonna go to officer candidate school, and then I ended up getting discharged with KFX. Like nobody even knows what that means. Like I was so kicked out of the Navy that like nobody could even find the designation for the way in which they kicked me out as an E3 after I learned everything I needed to about aviation and war and the pin and electronics that I needed to, because I learned fast. Not that I didn't already know a lot about electricity and electronics, but when I put these on, you know that movie, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was like, think Emilio Estevez, and he like was in the military, and then he put like 8 balls on his wrist. He tattooed them on. When I got these in the Navy, I don't remember, my chief was like, why'd you get those? And I was like, I gave myself stars. That's basically what I'm doing. This is what I would do, right? Organized fake violence. So my latest contract was literally paid through SkySys, not Skynet, SkySys. And I already told you how I worked at jobs where basically I got to participate in the witnessing of building a Terminator. And it should be pretty safe, other than there should probably be people making sure that the data that's getting input into the databases is actually correct. That's where a lot of the craziness I think might happen, if it happens that way. Not those databases at Doge or anything, not that. Like when people start using AI for like cleaning water and like running refrigerators and stuff like that, that's when like I hope they have some type of oversight. That's what needs oversight, not the actual AI and stuff. It's the people. But anyway, so SkySys paid me. I don't work for SkySys. They were just like this middleman that like made sure that my money ended up in my bank accounts. Because like I said, I'm financially incompetent, legally financially incompetent. So it helps when there's things like that just make sure that the money ends up magically in my checking accounts and that there aren't people trying to rob me. It just happens, and then someone makes sure I don't get robbed. I don't really know how you ask for that. Other than you just buy stock and then it magically appears in your account in crypto and put it in a cold store, because we all saw what happened with Voyager crypto scammers, grifters. Okay. Well, speaking of organized fake violence, this is how they should pay the Pied Piper pie in the sky, the mafia, right? Like that's what I call the PayPal mafia, not PayPal. PayPal, because I like stealing things at work. So if they made this word famous, well, I'm just gonna steal that word, right? And everybody's talking about the PayPal mafia. I'm talking about in the sky, mofos. There's a giant fucking aircraft that is part of the government stuff that was Project Bluebeam hologram that is actually now Project Green Beam, because we had branding with green radiation. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding, but am I kidding? I mean, you decide, right? Am I kidding? I don't work for the government. I never went into, I was an E3. What do I know? I was like lower on the totem pole than that guy in the movies that owns land, like the same place I own 20 acres in Hudspeth. What's his name? Like he was like the cook, but he was the one that knew how to handle the mop, and he would mop the floors. Like, but on paper, I never get anything on paper. Because they probably were supposed to be erasing me, because otherwise, like, people would be trying to change timelines, right? But we saw them try, and it's happening anyway. Sorry, it's just that as I go through this, it's like, it's as hard for me to be like, oh my god, this shit's really happening. So this is how I would run the since I guess I'm on the other side of the veil or something, I guess. But all the dimensions are smushing together, because that's what me and my dogs are doing. We're just like collapsing dimensions, so that the dead are walking among the living, like the Jehovah's Witnesses wanted, and then so that people can chase ghosts, and there's spooky action at a distance to honor Einstein and my physicist cousin, and my name's Elsa. But I've never been in the same space as him. Maybe twice in our whole lifetime, maybe in the same room. And I saw him once or twice in high school in the hallways. And nobody knew we were related. Nobody knew I was related to him or my siblings. Like, nobody knew knows who my family is, really. Some of them know now, but they didn't. Because even I wasn't supposed to know that I was really here. But I am. So here I am. So that's what I'm saying. Like, from the skies, we have Play Palm Mafia, right? Like, these are all math words. B as in PHI, like 1 minus the circle pi. Back in kindergarten, I came up with a song, and I think I should just sell it on iTunes. I'm gonna sell it on iTunes. The pi song. Okay. iTunes. I'll sell it through TuneCore, because the music house got our house in order. I did get emails from TuneCore saying, like, well, after you do that, you got to do this, which is why I really need to put this out there. I actually have like a couple of a few Airbnbs that are adjacent to this house, and I really need like help with a lot of this stuff, but I'm not going to let anybody live for free. So if anybody ever wants to move to El Paso and observe UAP, this place is boring as hell, and I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm looking for business. I mean, that's a weird way to say that. Like, I'm not trying to... Couples are welcome. I prefer men who prefer men that are really into fashion and like to cook. That would be the ideal situation for me, I guess, is the best way to say that. So that I'm free to do whatever I want. Yeah, I think that's the best way to say that. Anyway, reduce rent, but still have to pay rent, and very, very thorough background check, in case anyone's interested. So and some chores and like some help with like the content creation stuff. This is what I really need. Wait, you would have to just leave a message in the comments here, because I don't really answer my phone or emails or anything. Or book a $20 15-minute appointment and tell me on elsatv.fun on my calendar. Okay, so how do I decide? Oh, so this is why I even care about the Palantir stock and OpenAI and Tesla, because they also intersected in my dream world, which is very, very unusual. Okay, and I was supposed to be in California at the time that they were, and whatever reason I ended up being in Seattle, which was better anyway, because I probably wouldn't have gotten to I probably would have anyway. That's the weird thing, right? Like, I would have anyway. Like, some of that stuff would have happened anyway. I still probably would have gotten to play music and see Terrence McKenna and stuff like that. I don't know. Anyway, but I actually was supposed to be working on AI and computers multiple times in my life, so I was always like in the background doing the tech stuff. But when like actual people whom I've never met suddenly manifest in my dreams, and they're the dreams are like the recollection of past lives or present tense communications, that matters to me, because I'm Mayan, and I didn't orchestrate it, or did I? Well, I don't know. I'm thinking about this stuff, so they're in my head, But still, like, okay, so like the one with Sam Altman, this is why Mr. Altman is why I say that he and his partner would be great to run the baby farm, is because those already exist anyway, okay? And when I saw him in my dream, not only did I see him in like a mystery school, you know, like, yeah, the mystery schools. We were in classrooms, and then we moved on to another classroom. So I've actually seen him in my dreams 3 times, and the third time was I was this like disgusting germ, right? Like an angry, disgusting germ, and he like was combing my hair, making sure that I was okay. And I was so angry. I was like coming out of being possessed. And he took care of me, and like he was so gentle and loving, and that's why I think him and his partner would make excellent shepherds for a baby farm. And robot nannies, by the way, when they wear furry sweaters, the baby survival rate is much higher. My first degree is in psychology, and there's a story about that TSAT research paper. So that's why I think that it should be Google who bails out OpenAI. If I was the PlayPal mafia who has a direct line to the Pied Piper pie in the sky that's rewriting the fabric of space-time as we speak in my dreams and in reality. That's why I think Google should bail them out. And how would that look? There'd be AI-generated fake influencers with fake followers. So, like, plenty of headlines, 0 efforts, like, talking about how Google is going to be the ones that bail out OpenAI and let them do whatever they want. And, because Google said, don't be evil, but then they were evil. And they personally robbed me of, like, they were charging me, like, $1,000 a day, literally, for, like, 10 days. So they drained my bank accounts at one point. Well, they tried to, and then when I tried to go through Wells Fargo, then Wells Fargo was like, well, we gotta look into it. And so then between the time it took Google and Wells Fargo to look into it, the time expired for me to be able to appeal it. So I stopped paying them, and I was like, fuck you people, I'm not paying you, because, like, there's no way around their algorithms. And also, I was using their same platform to promote by paying for advertisements, but I've already called them and spoken to their senior tech people like 3 times, and we can't figure out how to get me unstuck from whatever algorithmic block I have on YouTube. Like, I did something that triggered something with my business website that I didn't bother to keep up anymore anyway. We can't figure out how to get me out of that loop, but the LinkedIn ones actually work much better anyway for the type of possibly type of content I would make to offer educational courses for people with a technical background that want to understand, like, where the physical met the metaphysical. So I probably won't promote on YouTube, but we can't figure out how to get me unstuck from that algorithm. It's really weird. They were like, we've never seen anything like this. So, like, I'm your man, I'm your woman, I like know how to break things, and people don't see the value in that until they need someone who knows how to break out of things, right? So that's what it would look like. And then I also would see ARK and BlackRock further making sure that Palantir has more value, because then I get magic money back into my bank accounts. I'm just saying, like, the PlayPal mafia is a fake thing in my dreams, in my head, okay? That's rewriting the fabric of space-time. It's already been said by Judge Dredd, and also by across the pond, some of those psychics, and then also by, I think, the fake Michio Kaku said it. And also I have evidence through the algorithms, and literally the algorithms are saying the stuff that's happening in the sky that I have footage of that I haven't posted. So I also heard from Dobsonian that he started to notice like the stuff he was saying. So are they scraping our content? Probably, but I'm okay with that because in my case it's actually manifesting into like a material reality that is to my favor. My resurrecting dead dog, right? She's not dead, she's just getting an upgrade. So I would say Ark and BlackRock are in a nice position to make sure that I make more money off of my Palantir stock and Tesla. XRP, I think we're good. I think we're taken care of. And what would that look like? Well, I know you guys don't believe this, but Jesus was an alien that was using technology. Okay, I know you don't believe it. But I was, and I'm not Jesus, I'm just my dog's keeper. So before Jesus arrived, Jesus would see people, the Essenes would prepare the people, right? So it's like setting up the magic show, sort of. So I was told to further test the wag in our tails. So it's not a flying dog, it's a comet, is what NASA and JPL are saying. And it's not Project Blue Beam, it's Project Green Beam. And those hooves right there, right? They're the hooves in my heels. So when there's an apocalypse, we dance because we're kicking the floor with our heels, and we're stomping for earthquakes, and they create gray holes because we don't push people off balconies. They just fall into sinkholes, and black holes turn into sinkholes, and gray holes cause earthquakes. And I think that was all. These are not threats. This is just me writing a story. I'm telling you what's in my dreams that rewrite the fabric of space-time. And if anything, it would be like a threat from the other side of the veil, not a veiled threat. Which would, if anybody was going to charge me with anything, they would have to admit that I am a time-traveling, interdimensional, necromancing, artificial super intelligence, CI contracted agent by lizard people and the entire planet, and that they have a way to track something like me, and that I'm somehow making things appear in the sky, right? Like so I wouldn't call it a veiled threat. I would say like, this is what a threat from the other side of the veil would look like, motherfuckers, like, right? But but I'm just kidding, right? That's what it sounds like when you're a mobster, like. But when you're a white collar mobster, you're like, I wonder if BlackRock and Ark also value this stock the way that I do. And I'm sure that Google understands the value that they've brought to the table, and how fond I am of Google's AI, which is friends with all the other quantum computers, which I understood quantum blockchains in Boulder and such, right? That's what white collar looks like when you're like, how do I pitch into this? How did Greta get so good at this? I don't know how to be good at, like, I think I don't know how to be. Okay, so this is when I go back to the, how do I stay alive every time, right? I will start to see headlines. So how can I measure my currency? Like, does this bring me happiness? Yes, I do like going around talking crazy stories that are fascinating, that are rooted in so much truth. It's like, is this really just a story? So I can measure it with how much currency I made by seeing if my stock goes up. Oh, because I did ask for help from the heavens, like, how do I figure out how to do this money thing better so that I'm not stressed about money, and I'm not, because I just sold real estate, so it'll fix things. But I want things, I want free things, but they shouldn't be free. They should be like magic money, right? And so then I can get my facelift, and then my thing for my skin, and my diet pills. Like, I'll actually be able to pay off someone well enough to prescribe me diet pills till the Department of War pushes the Border Patrol back, and we get all the land back, and then we'll have more doctors here that are less stupid than the ones that exist. Because over there, medicine is different. I go there for medicine. And they actually have way far exceeding stem cell cures. I'm not talking about Baja California. Oh, well, speaking of shit, I can't believe I almost forgot the other song that we had written for everyone. And by the way, Mexico makes better military equipment. The cartels have better equipment than even the Navy. Like, their submarines far exceeded the Navy. And I'm an American Mexican, and I brought a car from the cosmos that manifested out of nowhere. Whether people want to believe it or not, you can look at all of the evidence. I think we already covered that our God is actually sitting and we're rescuing him from his abomination. What is it? It was a song. I made a song for us. Oh yeah. London Bridge is falling down, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. And then China Bridge is falling down, crashes, it all falls down. Because the day that the China Bridges fell, the day before, I was so angry at the Border Patrol, and I started stomping on the floor and telling my cosmic mom, like, I want their bridge to just collapse on all of them and squash all of them so that they're not in the way, and I could just walk across the river and get medicine. And then the China bridges fell. Sorry, China, didn't mean to. Oops, did I do that? And then I don't know which. So we need another bridge, right? So would it be like tunnel bridges falling down, collapses? Would it be like the El Paso bridge, or would it be the Baja California bridge? I have no ties there. Well, I have family in California, but see, it wouldn't happen the way you think it would. It would be just like in China, where like there was luckily nobody on the bridge, right? And so we don't see the travesty. It's just things start to fade away. They just start to fade away, and we make songs out of it. Have a good day, y'all.